As protests against racial injustice move forward across America, so do the warnings about a second wave of coronavirus. Health experts say that their biggest worry is the large crowds and where they're forming. A new report by the Associated Press finds demonstrations have taken place in 25 U.S. communities with the highest concentrations of new cases. While that report does not include any of Arizona's cities in the top 25, the State Department of Health Services is reporting a spike in cases. As of today, there are now more than 22,000 confirmed cases and almost 1,000 deaths. Even as the numbers climb, protesters say that the call to action transcends the risk of the coronavirus.
The whole world stopped, but police brutality and racism still found its way to live, to continue on. So I don't really care that there's two viruses. I'm trying to kill the bigger one right now.
Now, researchers with the CDC are collecting data on how the protests are impacting the pandemic, and experts expect to have those findings coming up in the next 2 weeks.